We're on. From station WDWL TV. Broadcasting live from Studio B. Located on Grumpy Old Man Road. It's the Grumpy Old Man. Oh, me. And the Grumpy Vulture Show. Take your bow. Yeah, okay, that worked better than yesterday. Yeah, now go back in your corner. What do you mean you want to stay here? No. Look at the camera. Okay, we can see you. All right, there. There, better. Now, be good. As you can see, I have a different microphone tonight. The Blue Yeti X. And this is the microphone that has the built-in sound effects. First of all, I did some testing, but it never sounds the same until playback. So, if it's a little too loud, I'm sorry. I haven't worked with this mic in ages. But as you can see by the lights here, I'm not going in the yellow. And if I go in the red, oh, I forgot the Grumpy Old Man glasses. Yes, Grumpy Old Man has special glasses for his stream. Of course, these aren't the ones from Studio A. These are the Studio B glasses. A little different than the other ones. But they're still round. So, today was really a good day for Grumpy. Yes. First of all, I opened my eyes, so anytime I open my eyes in the morning, I got 90% of the day won. Then, my favorite letter carrier arrived with more signs. So we're going to run through them kind of quick like. First of all, we have Vintage Gas Fuel Station. That's kind of cool. That goes with the other poly sign. Then we have gas station open 24 hours. Save. Wood Oils Gasoline. I like that one. Now you got to remember, folks, these are all the gasoline companies that existed in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Then, some of them went by the wayside. Others got bought out by bigger refineries. Pennzoil Classic Motor Oil. This one I kind of like. Will Flow Motor Oil. At 30 degrees below winter oil. The all-winter oil. Yeah, I wonder if it flowed at 30 degrees below. Then another neat. It's too bad we don't have Sinclair anymore. I love those dinosaur signs. And then we have the Sinclair Opaline Motor Oil. What I wouldn't give to have that car today. And another. I love the dinosaur sign. Sinclair Motor Oil. And then we have Dixie Motor Oil. And of course, this was a big one in the 70s. STP, the Racer's Edge. Mario Andretti at Indianapolis. When he won, they said, well, our car just happened to have more STP than the other cars. Never heard of this one. Loyal Pen Motor Oil. Royal 400 product. Pan Am Motor Oils. I like the guy with the big wrench. This one's kind of cool. Bomber Aviation Reclaimed Motor Oil. Pacific Oil Sales Company. And then we have get your finger off the name there, Grumpy. Never heard of Velamcour. Velamcour. Never heard of Velamcour. I like the Buffalo. And then we have Frontier Double Refined Gasoline. And then, of course, we get into them signs, that were big around WWII. They always had very provocative ladies. Studebaker, parts and service. And last but not least, approved Packard service. So, those are the neat signs to add to the rest. I'm going to have a hell of a time trying to get them all over there in Studio A, one under another, lined up side by side. Now, before we get to the huge surprise, I had to go up and do a little bit of grocery shopping today because lately I've had a taste for beef stew. Yeah, I don't know why, but so I go up and I notice another business in the shopping plaza has gone under. Yeah. The guy couldn't afford to rent. I asked him as he was loading some stuff into his truck. I said, I thought business was booming because I always saw a lot of people going in and out of his store. He said, well, it was. Until I got my new lease. And he said, I couldn't afford to rent it anymore. He said, I was barely making it before. So he told the shopping plaza owner, sorry. So he emptied his store. And I asked him, are you going somewhere else? He goes, well, I'm looking for another place right now because he said, I would like to keep my customer base and stay in the area. See, I told you, this guy that owns this plaza is greedy. And that's why 50% of the storefronts are empty. I wish I could talk to him and say, maybe you should try my grandfather's theory of making a little bit of money on a lot of people instead of trying to make a lot of money on a few. He's literally running that plaza into the ground. It really kind of scares me because if we lose any of the bigger stores, it'll be a sad day for that plaza. Man, back in the day when I was growing up, that place was always booming, especially the Franklin ice cream store. Oh, they had the best ice cream. And then they went out, and then slowly if you saw a picture from the 60s and then saw that plaza today, you wouldn't believe it. Especially on Saturdays. Everybody cashed their paychecks on Friday, and then they went shopping on Saturday. There wasn't a parking space to be found. Now, you could almost land a 747 in the plaza. It's so empty. Sad. Really sad. Another business gone. But there ain't nothing Grumpy can do about it. Except bitch, complain, talk about the old days. But I'll tell you what, when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, that place was always booming with customers. Because you had, 2 grocery stores, and then, you had W.T. Grant Company, which was like a mini pre-Walmart. And there was a jewelry store and a shoe repair shop. Yeah. Back in the day, they used to actually repair shoes. Now we throw them away, Of course, who wears dress shoes anymore? Nobody. Everybody's wearing athletic shoes. Well, including me. But I have nowhere to go where I need to wear dress shoes. Although I do have a beautiful pair of Italian leather loafers that before the shoe repair shop went out of business, I had resold and healed. Because that was how nice the condition of the top leather was. I haven't worn them in ages. But in case Grumpy needs them, I have them. And I took a tip from the shoe repair guy. He said if you're going to let leather shoes sit for any length of time, put shoe stretchers in them, which I did, because it keeps the shoe to its normal size. Because leather will shrink. Yeah. Oops. Easy. Yeah, this thing looks like a foot. And then it's got a crank. And it slowly spreads open. So it keeps the conformity of the shoe. Yeah, I probably haven't had them shoes on in 5, 6 years. But I guarantee, if I was to put them on right now, 2 thumbs up. Shoe stretchers. Kids are going like, what the fuck's a shoe stretcher? Gargle it. Shoe stretchers. They look like a foot. A wooden foot. That has a little triangular device on a long threaded rod. And it slowly spreads the toe of the shoe open to keep it conformed to your foot size. Yeah, things we used to use back in the day. I had to use mine a lot because in the winter, my Tyrannosaurus Rex's boots would shrink. So I had to keep his boots spread open for him. Yeah, that's how old Grumpy is. Yeah. I remember one little tyke one day asked me, did you have electric lights back when you were young? I really wanted to smack him. but that would have been child abuse. So I told him, I said, yeah, we had light bulbs with candles in them. Did you have electricity? Yeah. I had an extension cord running in my cave to keep my imaginary flat screen TV going. See, I drew a square on my cave wall. And my imagination was to the point where I said, gee, one day there'll be something called a flat screen TV, and it'll look like this. Did you have electric lights when you were young? These kids today. Getting back to my beef stew. Boy, it don't take much to get meat off. So, an easy, quick beef stew recipe when you're making it for 1 or 2 people. I have a crock pot that's just big enough for like 2 meals. I don't get beef chunks like you should for beef stew. I get beef stir-fry meat. It's cut in thin strips. It cooks faster. And does it come out tender? Because if you use a big chunk, it takes a while to cook. And when you're doing it in a crock pot, you want it to cook through. So I use beef stir fry. When I told the cashier, she goes, "Oh, are you making stir fry tonight? You don't have any vegetables." I said, "No, I'm making beef stew." And she looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. And then I explained to her, these nice, long, thin cuts of beef tenderize a lot faster, and they cook quicker. So that basically after 4 hours in the crock pot, the meat falls apart. I like using a crock pot because it makes the meat fall apart. And since Grumpy doesn't have any teeth, makes it a little easier to chew. I could get teeth, but I've heard more people bitch about dentures. I just had the dentist pull everything. I said, I'll gum everything. And it's been so many years, I can. Yeah, people are surprised when I make a sandwich on rye bread. They're like, how can you eat that? Well, like you. I bite it off and I chew it. You don't need teeth for everything. Especially if your gums get concrete hard like Grumpy's. I thought I had a warning there for a minute. Kind of scared me. See, I can't figure things out here. I'm on the computer in Studio B. Now, the computer in Studio B is older. It has a smaller processor and not as much memory as the computer over in Studio A. And for some reason, I get better video, and I don't get them, your graphics card isn't big enough to handle, Prism. Now I just jinxed myself. About 30 seconds from now, it'll cut me off and I'll be done. But no, I noticed last night, no warnings, video was fine. So maybe what I should do is move the computer from Studio B to Studio A. Because I've got the more high-end equipment over there. I'm running all the old XLR through a mixer. Where this is USB. It just plugs into the computer and you do all your adjustments on screen. Speaking of, this is the microphone I was telling you about that has all the different effects. So, today, I'm supposed to have, get this, the sound of a disc jockey on an FM radio station. Yeah. So tomorrow, I will do the sound of a disc jockey on an AM radio station, and we'll see what the difference is. Yeah, it has AM station, FM station. I don't know what the difference is, but tonight I'm an FM station disc jockey. Tomorrow I'll be an AM station disc jockey. And I'll let you decide. Because to me, when I tested them today, they sounded the same. But maybe on the playback. So just remember, tonight, I'm an FM station disc jockey. Oh, yeah. All right. I know everybody's going, where's the huge surprise? Well, my buddy's son stopped over today, and he said, you won't believe what I found in the laundry room. An ultra limited production. Get this. MXL Patriot 990 microphone. Yeah. Oops. I'm bound and determined to destroy this mic, I'll tell you what. So, I'm going to show it to you because the box was still sealed. I broke the seal, so my buddy never even opened it. He bought it, like I told you. If something caught his eye, he bought it. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. The Patriot. The Patriot microphone. Look at it, still got that slick of gel in there. Isn't that cool? Red, white, and blue flag style with gold bands, and it even says MXL Patriot mic. Is that not cool? Now, I don't know if I want to use it. Yeah, I'm going to test it. But I have to do it in Studio A because it's got an MXL connector. But oh, is that neat. Oh. Oh, man. I can't wait to try that one out. Oh, man. I could guarantee this is a real low production microphone. Yeah. And probably big bucks. Man, that laundry room is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I wonder what he'll find in there next. It seems to be the MXL microphone hiding place. Yeah, he came over today, he goes, you won't believe what I found. Never opened. I broke the factory seal. Untouched by human hands. But see, that's the way my buddy was. If something caught his eye, he bought it. That must have really caught his eye. And why he had them all hidden in the laundry room, I guess we'll never know. Because it's not like he left a note that said, all the good microphones are hiding in the laundry room. Yeah. You have to know his laundry room. You know, the washer and dryer's there, and the the laundry sink. And then, on the other three walls, it's floor-to-ceiling shelving. And, they're divided in like 16-inch. So it goes floor-to-ceiling on three walls. A lot of hiding places for MXL microphones. Because that's all that's been in there. I got the orange one, the red one, now the patriotic one. I wonder what's next. Now, I did check MXL's website, and they made an ultra limited edition purple base. The top of the microphone is, you could order it one of two ways, with a silver top or a black screen top. And then the bottom is like a marbleized purple. I don't really need that one. But if it happens to be in my buddy's, laundry room, I'll take it. And then they made one called the Blizzard. It's a pearl white, and it lights up blue. Yeah, the top of the mic lights up. And then they made one called the Blaze. The top screen is black, the bottom is red. And then it lights up red inside. These two microphones have LED lights in them. I hope maybe one or two of them is hiding in the laundry room. See, I have a couple of mics that have LED lights in them, but they're kind of crappy. Knowing the way my buddy was with MXL microphones, there's a good possibility one or both of those limited edition microphones might be hiding in the laundry room. Yeah, I says to his son, I says, are you like tearing it apart like a search warrant? He goes, no, one shelf at a time. I'm keeping it neat. He says, I don't want Mom to come home and beat the shit out of me. I was like, well, that makes sense. So he goes, I take one square at a time. I look. Yeah, he's got them hidden behind stuff. That's the cool thing. You look in the laundry room, and it's just shelves full of towels and, linens. And then behind it are surprises, like the Patriot microphone. Oh, when he brought that over, I was like, oh my God. But see, I should expect this kind of stuff because that's the way he always was. If something caught his eye, he bought it. And he had the money. So, I'm not going to say price was no object, but, yeah, if it was within reason, it was like, I'll buy it. And most of them he didn't even use. That's like this, still sealed in the box. Now, the orange and the red ones were out of the box. But I don't ever remember seeing him use them. Now, he might have did a quick test. But why would you throw away the factory box? Questions that will never probably be answered. But oh boy, he loved his MXL microphones, I'll say that. Although, they are a wonderful cardioid mic. They really are. Another term is a condenser mic. And you've heard some of them over in Studio A, some are tinny, some are kind of off pitch, Others, are fairly close to being a normal, voice microphone. But MXL, they're a true condenser microphone. Now, the Blue Yetis are condenser mics. But see, in these, like this one, it has 4 microphone heads inside. So you can do front, back. Oops. I keep wanting to hit this mic. So you would have one strictly front, or back, or both, or 360. There's an adjustment knob underneath the side of the mic. So you could do it front, back. What I do right now, the way I have this one set, it's front and back so that I can talk through the top of it, and both the front and the back pick up the voice. I experimented today to make sure. But yeah, you can make this mic where it'll strictly be front, or strictly back, or both, or 360. I'll tell you what, the engineers at Logitech, Blue Division, really did their homework when they came up with these microphones. It's amazing. Anything with the name Blue, that's the division of Logitech that makes the microphones. If you need a mic, buy them. Now in the Blue Yeti, you get the full size, this is not the, I'll show you. You've seen them before, the white one that I've got. And then you get what they call the Nano, which is 3/4. And then, you've seen the Tiki, the cute little Tiki mic, and the Raspberry, the shrunken version of an NBC microphone from back in the day. But if you're going to set up a YouTube channel or a website where you're going to be doing, vocal, really, buy a Blue, because they're really affordable. Now, a lot of people, they go for the high-end Shure microphones. You can get a Blue Yeti, full size, like my white one, for about 1/3 of the cost of a Shure microphone. You will see a lot of the higher end vloggers or, streamers with their Shure microphones. I'm sure many of them do it for the Shure quality, because Shure they make a quality mic. Others, I think, do it for our prestige. Oh, look, I have a Shure microphone. If you're doing something like me, you don't need, a $500-600 Shure microphone. You can pick up, now, this one, the Yeti X. It's a little more expensive, because when you get this mic, you download software with it, and it has sound effects. Like I say, today I'm an FM disc jockey. Tomorrow I'll be an AM disc jockey. And then in older streams you've heard, the echo chamber, or I can sound like, Frankenstein, or, some horror movie person. It's got all kinds of, I could sound like, Oscar from, that's how far ago I don't want to get censored. You know, Sesame Seed Street. But yeah, if you're just doing, you know, like me, just to fulfill my, younger experience of wanting to be a disc jockey, a blue microphone is perfect for what you're going to need. Now, I was gifted this Yeti X, so I'm using it. But I don't think I would have bought it because it's actually a little higher end than what I need for what I do. Now, the white, that limited edition pearl white blue Yeti that I bought, yeah, I bought that because it was a limited edition. It was on sale. Oh, Grumpy's cheap. And it basically did what I wanted to do. And then a friend of mine gave me another blue Yeti mic. So I put the white one away because it is a limited edition. And I use that one at times. But see, I can only use the blue microphones over here in Studio B because they're USB. Now, they do make a couple of XLR mics. I've been watching. There's one I really want, but I'm cheap. So I'm waiting for the prices to come down. It's a cool mic. I'm not going to tell you too much about it because if I buy it, I want to surprise everybody. But yeah, any microphone with the blue name on it is perfect for the average person. Sure, I would love to have a Shure mic. I would love to have one. To me, it would be a prestige thing. Oh, look. Grumpy is now broadcasting with a Shure microphone. I don't need it. It's too pricey. Believe me, I check them on a regular basis. And there's no way I would buy a used microphone unless it's fully tested, not to mention sanitized. So, I stay away from the used ones. Now, this one particular, I've been watching a couple of the microphone sales companies. It's coming down a little bit at a time. I'm kind of hoping like maybe about the middle of December, they do a Christmas special. If it comes down to half price, I'll buy one. But not yet. A little too pricey. Grumpy has to invest in a new tablet first. Yeah. My old LG is slowly taking a shit. Of course, I can't complain because that tablet is about 13 years old. And the battery is starting to go. I really hate to have to replace it. But it's got all my sound effects and music in it. Then I have to figure out how to get all that music out and onto a new tablet. Somewhere along the line, I got to look into how to transfer music from one tablet to another. I don't know if I can Bluetooth it or what. But yeah, rather than invest in that microphone I've been following for 6 months, I need to start looking into tablets. never fails. Now, I could put the sound effects into another computer, but I'm having a hard enough time doing a stream on Prism, let alone how to do sound effects inside this computer, you know. So, I've been looking at a couple of Panasonic tablets. I've been watching the prices. They're slowly coming down. I'm waiting for maybe a Black Friday special. And then there's a couple of refurbished ones I've been looking at. I have to look into the companies that are selling them to see if they're refurbished by Panasonic. You know, anybody can say, oh, I refurbished it. You know, big deal. They do a factory reset, clean it up, and go, refurbished. No. If I'm going to buy a tablet, I want it to be factory refurbished by Panasonic. Or LG, or, you know. I'm only saying Panasonic because I've been watching a couple of them. But yeah, I need a new tablet. Although, I'll tell you what, it's an LG 10-inch. I got it, get this, when my internet and phone carrier was AT&T. They had a special. If you bought the tablet, okay, and you continued your phone service for another year with AT&T, you got the tablet at the internet service was $5 a month. Okay. At the end of a year, you got the tablet for free. So, for an additional $5 a month, I figured even if the $5 a month was going towards the tablet, that's $60. Where are you going to get a brand new LG 10-inch tablet for $5 a month? For $60, you know? Well, it worked out perfect. At the end of the year, 2 days after the end of the year, it was time to renew my phone service with AT&T. I said, no, thank you. Although I made sure the tablet was all taken care of. I said, I'm going to switch to a different carrier. You guys are getting a little too expensive. Well, I was paying like $75 a month for phone service. One phone, you know, AT&T had Grumpy bent over real good. So, I looked into consumer cellular. Unlimited talk, text, and I can't remember how much data. I didn't care about data. I don't use data. Unlimited talk and text. $25 a month. Wow. I'm paying $75 with AT&T, and I'm getting the same thing with consumer. Oh, did I switch in a hurry? So, I've been with them ever since. Then, get this, AT&T was like, well, you know, your internet service is due for renewal. I said, oh, yeah, I know. I've already looked into another carrier. I'm getting 1,000 speed with my current internet carrier for half of what I was paying with AT&T. With AT&T, I was getting half the speed. I'm getting 1,000 speed, top end, for half. Boy, did I switch in a hurry. And it's wonderful internet service. Oh, yeah. When I run my streaming TV at night, you never see that little circle that goes buffering, buffering. I did with AT&T. No. I am very happy with my internet carrier. And that's all I have. Internet only. Every now and then I get a phone call. Gee, would you like streaming service? No. I have streaming service. I have a Roku box. Yeah. I don't need to pay, you look at it, it's like Disney, $4.99 a month, and Netflix, $5.99 a month, this channel. I don't need all that shit. Yeah, maybe I miss a few programs I had on cable. But after a while, I don't miss cable. YouTube is a wonderful carrier to watch TV on. Yeah. And, several hours later, after they wore the guy down, he's like, yeah, I did it already. Oh. Yeah, I love interrogations. I could watch them all night, which I do. Because it starts right from, the story always starts right from the scene of the crime. You get the police call, the detectives go out, they gather their clues, then they slowly start to interrogate people. And I watch those every night. I love them. Better than watching a murder mystery, because it is. Without the commercials. Yeah. I'll tell you what. YouTube. And that's not premium. I don't have premium. Every now and then I get a commercial. Basic YouTube is amazing as far as programs. If I don't want to watch these murder interrogation, I can watch auto racing, or I can watch, nature, or anything. It's amazing what's on YouTube. And that's what I watch. I don't miss cable at all. Now, there's a couple of programs I miss, I'll admit it. Like the amazing Dr. Pohl. I miss him. The veterinarian up in Michigan. He was cool. But sometimes you gotta sacrifice things. Any of you that haven't watched programming on YouTube, give it a try. You'll be amazed at the selection. The other night I was watching strictly body cam videos. Those are cool. Because you're right up, yeah. There's several different streamers that do body cam videos. And some of them, some of them are boring. But it's cool when they get some of these young millennial drunks. Oh, yeah, the beer muscles start flexing on the guys until they meet Mr. Sparky. For those of you that don't know who Mr. Sparky is, Mr. Sparky happens to be a 50,000 volt taser. It's amazing. Hit with that taser, and the cooperation is just unbelievable. They zap him with the taser. The guy goes face plant, and then they say, "Put your hands behind your back." Oh, the cooperation. The hands go right there. Either that or Officer Fur Missile. Officer Fur Missile happens to be a police dog. Oh, I'll tell you what. Some of them dogs are unbelievable. I watched one. This guy had, oh, Christ, he must have had a 200-yard head start across the field. And this guy was cranking the steam. Oh. The officer said, "Stop or I'll release the dog." And the guy was like, "Ha, dog ain't gonna get me." About 45 seconds later, you heard a blood-curdling scream. Then when the officer got up to him, the dog was making mincemeat out of his arm. Every time the guy tried to pull away, the dog shook his head. Hamburger. You can watch that on YouTube. I watched, to tell you the diversity on YouTube yesterday, how they made Spam. Almost made me stop eating Spam. Now I saw them, grinding the pork, adding the spices, and then the pork went through a machine. And then the empty cans. I keep wanting to hit this microphone. The empty cans come down down the line, and they stopped. And there was a machine that had 10 spigots. And suddenly, the spigots opened up, and liquefied pork poured into the can. Oh! Yeah. Liquefied pork. And then the cans went to the capping device. Then they went into the cooking unit. And then they went from the cooking unit to the cooling unit. And then there was like 1,000 cans of Spam. And the guy just reached in and he randomly grabbed 3 or 4 and took them to the lab to test them. When he opened the can, out came a nice loaf of Spam that he could slice. Then I became a convert again and went, okay, I'm going to eat Spam. Yeah, liquid pork. Not too appetizing. See, I never knew how they made it. I watched the video on YouTube. Yeah. Liquid pork. Good thing it congealed and made a loaf. I could really, I could see opening a can and pouring out liquid pork on my sandwich. Not too appetizing. But when it got done, it was the Spam that Grumpy has enjoyed since he was a little tyke. Yeah. Grandpa introduced me to Spam. As a matter of fact, it was one that they don't make anymore. It was Spam and cheese. Grandpa sliced it and then cut it into little squares to go on our saltine cracker. And he said, try this. I was like, if Grandpa wants me to try it, it's got to be good. So I took a bite. And then I finished the cracker and was like, oh boy, I love this. What is it? And Grandpa said, it's Spam. I was like, Spam? Then he showed me the can. When you get old enough, you could buy one of these yourself. Oh boy. I remember asking my mother when we went grocery shopping. I was about maybe 7, 8 years old by now. Maybe 9. I said, can we buy a can of Spam? Grandpa has it all the time. And my mother said, unfortunately not. I said, why? When your father gets home from work, ask him. Okay. I was hoping Father came home sober, because he liked to stop after work and imbibe some martinis. Well, I got lucky that night. He did come home sober. And we were sitting getting ready to have dinner. And I said, can I ask you something? Oh, why, sure. Go ahead. I said, I wanted Mom to buy me a can of Spam today at the grocery store. And she said, no, ask your father why. My father looked at me and went, Spam? Spam? You wanted that shit in a can? Spam? I'll tell you why. When I was over in France during WDWL, that's all we had to fucking eat for a month. Spam! I don't want to see a can of that as long as I live. I said, well, you didn't have to yell. I got the point. Yeah. I guess rations were a little on the slim side over in France. You know, none of the big fancy restaurants were open where they could have, you know, a nice meal. And that was the only ration that they had. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Spam. So I tested the theory once. I was about 12, and I had saved some money from my paper route. I used to deliver the paper. At one time, we had the Cleveland Press. It was an afternoon paper. Then the asshole that bought the Cleveland Press closed it, sold the property. They built an office building. Getting off subject. So, I went to the grocery store, and I bought myself a can of Spam. And I came home, and I put it on the kitchen counter, because I had to go change my school clothes. Well, my father happened to come home early from work that day. So while I'm changing my clothes, you know, Dad comes in. I come back out in the kitchen, and my can of Spam was missing. I looked around. I said, I remember putting it right here on the counter. So I said to my mother, did you take my can of Spam? She goes, oh, I didn't even know you had one. I said, oh, yeah. I just bought it at the grocery store. So my father come out in the kitchen. And I said, did you happen to see a can of Spam on the counter? Yeah, it's outside the fucking garbage can. I told you, I don't want that shit around here. I said, well, I was going to make some sandwiches. Go outside and make your fucking sandwiches. I don't even want to. What did I tell you? Needless to say, young Grumpy, when he would buy a can of Spam, would only eat it when Dad wasn't home. Because otherwise, it would end up in the garbage. He hated that shit. Oh, yeah. I guess eating it 30 days in a row for breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of turned him off to Spam. Yeah, he took my can, threw it in fucking garbage. You want your Spam? Go eat it outside. Okay. I come in the house. I grabbed a little tray table, took it outside, opened the lawn chair, got my crackers, ate my Spam outside. Yeah, he hated that shit. Oh, yeah. So, there was never a can of Spam within his sight. Because if I bought one, I had to hide it like under my mattress. Because if he saw it anywhere in the house, oh shit, it was going in the garbage, and then Grumpy would be in the can with it. So I made sure to keep the Spam away from Dad. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Threw my fucking can away. You want your Spam? It's out in the fucking garbage. Told you, don't bring that shit home. I think I tested his patience. Which I did many times. But at least this time I didn't get bruises from it. Yeah. I had to go out in a garbage can, get my... Luckily he didn't open it. Oh, that would have really pissed me off. Open the can, dump the can out in the garbage. I had to take my Spam and wash it off. Yeah. You think I'd throw away good Spam? I'd be washing that shit down. So, I have liked Spam since the age of 5. And from the ages of 5 until 18, if I bought a can of Spam, it got hidden. And then, from 18 to 21, before I moved out of the house, I would keep the Spam in my car. Just in case he searched my bedroom. I think he had Spam radar. There's a can of Spam in this house. I'll find it. Yeah. Oh, he hated that. Oh. Even the mention of it would piss him off. Like the one day I was reading the sale ads and I went, oh, Spam's on sale. Give me that ad. Crumble it up, throw it away. You didn't even mention, you couldn't even spell it. S-P-A. Okay. I won't say that word. Yeah, couldn't even say that word. When we were studying France in history, I didn't dare mention, sometime he'd ask me, what are you doing in school? Oh, we were studying about France. Sorry. France and Spam became synonymous. You didn't say France. You didn't say Spam. Two things you didn't talk about in the house. If he was around. With his Spam radar. Then everybody wonders why Grumpy's fucked up. Every other kid on the block could eat Spam. Not me. Well, I could eat it if I was, like, hiding somewhere. And you don't dare open it in the house. His nasal passages would catch a whiff of it. He'd find it. So if I wanted to eat my Spam, I'd get a tray table and I'd eat it out in the backyard. It's amazing. I like Spam. If I say the word, whoa, sorry. I couldn't even think Spam. I think he read minds. Hey, you're thinking about Spam. Cut that shit out. Okay. Oh, he hated Spam. Oh, my God. It was the only thing that would piss him. Well, there were a lot of things that pissed him off, but the only food that would really set him off, Spam. I guess, you know, when you're sitting in a cold foxhole, opening a can of Spam while bullets are flying past you, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Oh, Grumpy made a pun. Oh. I always wanted to see if I could talk to some of his army mates and ask them, do you have an aversion to Spam? And I would guarantee most of them would say, well, no, I don't eat it on a regular basis, but on occasion, oh, my father, you couldn't even, no, you didn't even think Spam. I could eat it 30 days in a row, 3 times a day, 7 days a week. Don't bother me any, although I'm not in a cold foxhole with bullets whizzing past me. That's interesting. You could say bullets, foxhole, Spam. Oops, okay. I pushed the point there. Yeah. I never saw something that set him off more than, I think you could hold him up in a parking lot and steal his wallet and he wouldn't be as pissed off as if you had a can of Spam in your hand. Oh, he hated Spam. I'll never forget when he found out I was eating it. He said to me, he said, where do you get that Spam from? Well, me and Grandpa have it a lot. He never went to his father and went, hey, quit eating the Spam. No, if I ate it, I never saw him walk into his father's house and throw a can of Spam away. No. If I had a can in the garbage. What another thing I was never able to ask my grandfather about. Did you ever eat Spam in front of Dad? I'm sure he did. And I'm sure my father sat there grinding his teeth going, Yeah, I could see my grandfather slicing it slowly. My father sitting across from him going, but he never reached over and threw it away. Let me bring a can home. It went right in the garbage. I'm surprised he didn't throw it at me. Is this your spam? Oh, that hurt. And you dented the can. Now I can't open it. Yeah, see, spam used to have this neat thing. It had a little key on the bottom. And you took the key, and then there was a zip strip that went around the top, and you cranked it, and then you opened it. Well, I know why they did away with it. Because the sharp edges on the steel can, you could cut yourself severely. But it was neat. I always wish I would have saved one of them little keys. It was attached to the bottom of the can. Twisted it off. And then there was a little tab. And then you wound it until it caught. And then you twisted it all the way around the can, and off came the lid. Now spam has a pop top, like a soda can. Pop the top, peel the top right off. But not back in the day. Safety improvements. Yeah, the federal government went, hey, people are getting cut on them sharp cans. Do away with it. Come up with a different idea. Okay. Sometimes the government should mind its own business. Oh, God, I did it now. There'll be 500 government workers on my front lawn at midnight with torches and pitchforks. Well, what do you mean we're getting in your way? Yeah. Oh, I saw an interesting video today. Jay Leno's garage. The Secret Service brought the beast to Jay Leno's garage. Yeah, the presidential limo. With that license plate on it, 800-002. Yeah, it was in Jay Leno's garage. The only problem is, they couldn't open the doors, couldn't open the trunk, couldn't open the hood. They just stood there and looked at it. Oh, look at that limo. Now I know why they call it the Beast. Holy shit. It stands about 6 foot high, and it's about 30 foot long, and it rolls on truck tires. Actually, the Secret Service agent said bus tires. And it's a diesel. That's the only thing that they would admit to. Jay said, oh, I hear it's diesel powered. Yes. And that's all the Secret Service. You talk about guys that are tight-lipped. Jay was asking all kinds of questions. The Secret Service agents were going, well, that's classified, Jay. He'd ask another question. The other agent would go, well, that's classified, Jay. Jay, can we open the door? No, sorry. Can we see the engine? No, sorry. Can we open the trunk? No, sorry. Can we see the interior? Well, you can look through the window, Jay. Yeah, but I want to show my audience. Sorry, Jay. The interior is classified. We can't open the door. Although the doors are about that thick, man. Oh, yeah. Talk about armor plating. The doors are about 9 inches thick. Watch sometime. When they go to open the door for the president to get out. Those doors are huge. I bet you that beast weighs about 40,000 pounds because they have to transport it in a C5A or a C-17 Hercules. Yeah. They load the thing on a plane. A big plane. But yeah, what a monster. I see why they nicknamed it the Beast. And then Jay said, what happens to the old ones? And the Secret Service agent says, well, we blow them up. What? Yeah, I told you yesterday. They blow them up. All 12. They blow them up. Destroy them. Over $1 million each. And they blow them up. Your tax dollars are at work. And the new ones are even more expensive. With inflation, they're about $2 million each. And then when the new fleet is obsolete, they'll blow them up. More of your tax dollars are at work. Just think, $12 million limousines. And they blow them up. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want 500 Secret Service agents outside my house tonight with torches and large lethal weapons. Come out of the house, Grumpy. I didn't do it. Put your hands behind your back and assume the position. I'll be in handcuffs with a hood over my head so I can't see where they're taking me. Then we'll get to the secret location and they'll interrogate me. Why are you saying things about the limousines? That's classified. Well, it's on YouTube. Well, you don't have to repeat it. It's on YouTube. I believe everything that's on YouTube. Yeah. Jay Leno had the honor of having the presidential limousine in his garage to film for Jay's show, Jay Leno's Garage. Couldn't get a lot of questions answered. Jay said, how fast does it go? Well, that's classified, Jay. How big's the engine? That's classified, Jay. What does it weigh? That's classified, Jay. It got to be the point. I felt like, calling Jay and going, don't bother answering. They're not going to answer your question. I already know the answer. That's classified, Jay. Those two Secret Service agents must have said that about 300 times. That's classified, Jay. I'm surprised when Jay said, oh, I see the color is black. Yes, Jay, it is. What color black? Well, that's classified, Jay. See, they have different colors of black. Yeah, straight black or metallic black, but it's classified. Jay didn't get a lot of questions answered. That's classified, Jay. Can I ride in the Beast? No, Jay. Citizens aren't allowed inside the Beast. Oh. You can't open the door? No. Can I peek in the window? Just don't get too close, Jay. You're too close, Jay. Back up. Oh, okay. Yeah. A 20-minute segment of Jay Leno's Garage with about 400 answers. That's classified, Jay. Made for a boring segment. Then they showed it at the airport being loaded inside of that giant plane. Car's so heavy, they have to use that to carry it. And everywhere they go, they take 2 of them. Although the Secret Service agent did divulge, sometimes they take 4. Tax dollars hard at work. So the next time you see a presidential motorcade, take a good long look at that car. Because sooner or later, they're going to blow it up. $1 million each. And with inflation, the new fleet is probably $2 billion each. And they order 12. Who needs 12 limousines? Even that one of the sheiks in Saudi Arabia don't have 12 limousines. Although I do know one that has a fleet of Rolls-Royce Silver Wraiths in every color. Yeah, he's got about 30 of them. One of each color. And they told the sheik, you know, we have over 300 different colors. I'm surprised he didn't have 300 Rolls Royces. Yeah. And the interior is the same color as the exterior. So if the exterior is medium blue, the interior is medium blue. Ugliest fucking cars on earth. Yeah. It's on YouTube. Look it up. You can watch it. Everything's on YouTube. Even Grumpy. And with that, I think my beef stew is done. So I'm going to enjoy my beef stew made with beef stir-fry meat. And I guarantee it'll be tender. And with that, now remember, today I am an FM disc jockey. Tomorrow I'm going to be an AM disc jockey. And we'll see what the sound difference is. I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. But today, FM. Tomorrow, AM. And with that, I will chat with you tomorrow from